There we go.
Go ahead.
So I also really liked, just being with meeting developers from all over the world. And there were, people from
That was
all over.
awesome.
You're standing in line for different demos or whatever, and, you chat with people. And so, to be connected with people from so many different places was great. I
Yeah.
had some great conversations. I'm in education, so I had some great conversations with GDGs and other people about, the challenges that AI brings to education, and boy, are there challenges. Um, and so, just being in a place that we really dive into all of that was great.
That's good feedback. I know some people were there as well, so feel free to share your feedback. It's not about feedback only, it's also about some demo. John, you did build the marketing campaign for your honeybee small business.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that was that was a very silly thing. Using a photo and uh, a photo. No, maybe it was a little video. It was a short video of me and an idea and a voice sample. And AI within a minute created a full 25-second ad, 20-second ad for a thing I made up. It was very silly, but it worked really well. And what's the uh I believe the technology is Nova. No, I forget. But the it was very impressive about how smooth it is. I don't have the link right now, otherwise I'd show it to you.
Okay, okay.
AK?
We will work on links and sharing files. I just wanted you to be aware of that we can share files on this chat, right? And if you want to show in case, you would be more than welcome to do that after the main presentation, which I want John to be today. John Paul, different John. AK, I do see your hand. I encourage you to postpone it after John. Is it okay? Thank you. John Paul, are you ready to unmute yourself? Yay!
Yeah. Hey, Yulia. Hi. Um, so yeah,
He's our hero.
uh,
John, you should, if you would, just John, you were there.
yeah,
Would you just talk a little bit about your overall responses? Kind of like what I talked about, what Yulia talked about. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
yeah, sure. So hi everyone. My name is John Paul. So I attended Google I/O this year at California this last month. It was an amazing experience. I was there for 2 days, and I met a lot of developers from all around the world. They were like ton of geeks. They were all geeking out so many new things about AI, and I made a lot of friends. I made everybody is talking about all the shift that is happening with this agentic era with AI and everything. I got to use a few Google products. The labs and the workshops were really amazing. I got into a driverless car, Waymo. It was fun. I took a ride around San Francisco Bay Area, and then a lot of packing things on anti-gravity as I am a developer, so I work for the public sector here at New York State, and I was really excited. A ton of updates, a lot of things got redesigned in anti-gravity 2.0. So that's what I'm going to talk today, and I just want to share something practical what I've been working on few demo projects. So and then they were like this is new Gemini model, the 3.5 flash model, which is really very super fast, super efficient. And if you see the software benchmarks that Gemini 3.5 flash is doing, it's doing great. Um, and Yeah, overall the atmosphere was really amazing. If you guys have never been there to a Google I/O, I would highly recommend. I'm planning to go every year from now on, and I made some cool new friends there. I met all the people from the Google that who are leading like Angular team. I'm an Angular developer as well, so I met an Angular guy, and then I met the lead developers from the Google team. They talked about their work culture. It was all amazing. and I get to meet even all the Google developer experts from all across different states and from Boston, and yeah, it was very fun. It was like a party for all developers. There was a block party. There was so much of good food, a lot of things. Yeah, so yeah, that was my fantastic experience.
I'm sharing some photos. This is the shared Google album from people, all people who did attend. And you see how awesome it was. It was really awesome. Anyway, the main thing, we were making friends.
Yeah, yes.
The second thing, we were learning technology. Out
And
of learning
sharing ideas.
technology,
There was also a
yes,
lot of sharing of ideas.
Yep.
yes, we got a chance. So being a GDG organizer, we were treated with given the standalone day with just organizers getting together and seeing how we can do better serving the community. Saying that, we all those who attended Google I/O, even those resistant the most to all AI naive things and just like trying, no, it's not my thing. Oh, we did try. We did try, and I rebuilt the website using Antigravity as well. I learned there are 2 Antigravity, if not 3, right? So John will address that, I think. I hope.
Oh, okay, sure. I haven't prepared any slide deck. Is it okay if I go everything on live demo? Is that
Live
fine?
demo is the best, right?
Yeah, so I haven't really thought about anything. I just wanted to give out the process for everybody, like how
Mm-hmm,
anybody can start tackling it. And
mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
is that
what I
okay?
will be doing, good. I will be sharing all resources in the chat because there will be, along with John showing, I will be sharing some links. There is a coding gem links, there is a resources link, so that's what we'll be sharing here. We're here to share, sharing is caring. Yay! Okay. John, go ahead.
Okay,
Share
yeah.
your screen, show your excitement in action.
Okay, sure. Okay, allow. And then I'm going to select desktop 3 over here. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yep,
Okay. I'm using my camera is over here and I'm using the side monitor here, so excuse
that's
me if I'm
fine.
not clicking in the direct. Okay. So one of the biggest thing as developers, right? We get to see in Google the anti-gravity. So I would like to take you guys to the antigravity.google. So earlier, if you have used, I mean, I already gave one talk on Google Anti-Gravity, 1.0, and now we have Google Anti-Gravity 2.0. So if you come to this page, you have options for the Google Anti-Gravity. So there's a standalone anti-gravity agent manager, and then this is the anti-gravity 2.0. Then we have anti-gravity CLI, which is command line interface. So anybody who is like more, I mean, if you are geeky and if you have work on terminals, DevOps side, you guys would love anti-gravity CLI. Earlier, we used to have Gemini CLI, and they made that, they are going to discard it from today onwards, from June 18th. So today would be the last day for Gemini CLI, and anti-gravity CLI will take place instead of that. So anti-gravity CLI is again written by Go binary language, I believe, and it's much faster and it has a good harness. So I'll show a little demo on that as well. And then we have anti-gravity SDK, which is like your own way of harnessing the anti-gravity features instead of having anti-gravity, having as its own rules and regulations. With anti-gravity SDK, you can modify according to your organization, and you can change that the harness level for the anti-gravity with like very minimal script using Python code. And then finally we have the anti-gravity IDE. Like most of us use Visual Studio Code or something like that, right? It would be similar like that. And then in anti-gravity IDE, that's where you take and start fixing your bugs or whatever you have. As a developer, you would come and look the code, what it is being written and everything. So these are the 4 things that I want to cover today. So 2.0, CLI, SDK, and IDE. Probably, if that is okay, I will start doing it. So it's very easy to download. Just download over here, go to the Antigravity 2.0, and based on your operating systems, once you download it, you will get something like this. I'll just open. Um, so this is the Antigravity 2.0. It's a simple chat kind of interface where you have different kind of projects over here, and then you can start a project over here. Normally, you're chatting it using this chat box over here. You can type any task. If you have any ideas, anybody has any ideas right now, they want to build a small app or something like that, anybody can post in their comments. I can quickly take one idea from the comments and then start doing it. I don't know where is the anybody wants to say that.
How about our current meetup? So, for example, who is here or something like quick RSVP?
Quick RSVP.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically,
Or RSVP we have for Baby. Maybe some RSVP like with networking.
okay, RSVP for networking for a GDG event.
Yep,
Yeah.
networking for GDG group attending the event. So what would be needed?
Yeah. What would be? Yeah, sure. That would be a nice nice plan.
26 people right now on this call.
Okay, 26 people on the call, and we need something to have information sharing about their RSVPs if okay, something like that. Okay, cool.
So not Google Docs for sure, where we can put our emails and contacts and such, and LinkedIn's. Not saving chat, but what? It's an idea. Just help me.
Yeah, it's an idea. So Yulia has right now an idea that she wants to um, get the information from all the attendees right now in this call, and then get it and try to follow up or send some material or like to connect. Okay, that would be a good opportunity. Let me first create here is a small projects over here. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So we have we can select a folder over here, and you go and start a folder over here. Okay. I will just create a new folder here and say GDG events RSP or events RSVP. Is that good? Okay. I will create this folder over here and I will open it. And I will give default permissions. There are some security permissions that you can give, and I'm going to go with default permissions over here. And we can type it over here, or I can just speak it over here and then start the agent to do that. The most efficient way is I would speak into this audio, and it would help me out. So let's create a smaller app. I will. Hi. Hello. I am not sure if it is recording or not, but I have another option, but I will do it. Hi, can you
John, I bet that your
call
microphone's
the
dedicated to
events
Zoom, and so it's not getting
where
picked up by
people
the.
can share their LinkedIn profiles or any information. A small UI where we can all connect together, share me some thoughts and ideas. And I would like to use a small Java backend system, some Spring Boot APIs, and as well as I want to use in the front end Angular framework. So use any libraries. I need the design to be minimalistic and more modern. Please use your own judgment and suggest me a few ideas. And I don't want full-blown production app, but for now, let's do a small RSVP, and then we can iterate around. Okay, it says iterate. So I'll write it. So it will spin up the anti-gravity 2.0 has its own agentic specific IDE wherein you can spin up multiple agents, multiple sub-agents, and a lot of these things. It asks me some permissions. I will just say allow, and I will allow this one because we are doing an Angular version. So it's checking the what Java version is installed on this machine, what CLI we are using. So everything is being checked over here, and it will start creating few things. Meanwhile, once it starts to do this, I just want to go over here. So these are all your projects. You can work on multiple projects at the same time. In earlier Antigravity 1.0, we didn't have this option to work on multiple things, whereas you can only do once. But here in this current Antigravity 2.0, we can work on multiple projects and create new chats as well. So right now it has given me an implementation plan. If you see it over here, it says a minimalistic modern approach GDG, and you can see all the things over here. For now, I will say go proceed. I'm not looking into everything because we have time limitation right now. So it loads attendees from the backend. It filters the attendees list, open and close RSV form, submit RSV form, and send a wave to specific attendee. So we can proceed with this idea. So it's gonna start creating all these versions and all these tasks. So it's more like spec-driven development. It first gives you a plan, and once you accept the plan, it would start writing all the task implementations and everything. And if you see it over here, it already started the design, things, and it also started the writing the code also. If you see the course config, it started adding over here. I would submit this one. It's asking some permissions. We have application properties. If you are from Java background, you might know all these issues. We have an RSVP application.java. You can see the code as well while we are working on the right side. So this is more like friendly for non-technical people who are like not really don't want to see the code and everything. It just does everything, and at the end it will tell you that the work has done and it's completed or something like that. For a technical person, what you would do is that you would normally go into an IDE, and they gave an option over here, which is this open IDE in the top corner of this Antigravity 2.0. So this is an Antigravity IDE. Once I click this, it opens that particular folder right now, GDG events RSVP. So it has two modules. One is a backend, which is written in Java right now, because I specifically told to write it in Java, and there is a front end which is being written in Angular, because we specified that. And then over here, you can go over the code. Sometimes there are a few issues like in what do you call in Angular, if you know all this TypeScript files, if you want to add a small change to this one, I don't like this style, or you don't want this app.html to be in this particular style, you can just come and tweak around over here. It's for developers to
John,
start. Yes, Yulia.
people don't have the big screens, so is it possible to increase a little bit
Oh,
the font and the size, because you probably have the big screen?
yeah. Are you able
On
to?
another note, everyone can just adjust their Zoom settings so you can make it bigger. But thank you, John. I really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
sure, sure. So I'm just increasing my zoom. Are you guys able to see my? Is this fine enough?
Yes.
It is fine enough. Okay. Okay. I don't have access. I'm not able to see the comments. I'm sorry if I am
I
ignoring your
will be
comments.
reading it. No worries.
Yeah. So right now it said that it finished everything and it wants to run the application. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it. Let's see what it is going to do.
We have a question.
Yes.
If the agent decide to create the app using Angular, will you add some skills to make the agent more resourceful?
Yes.
And me too interested in skills. Where are the skills?
Yes. So the skills are really necessary for the agent to drive in a certain direction. It would make much more easier. But since I'm using the same Angular skills, which is made by Google, so I would assume that it's been trained over there. But normally, what all developers would do is that they would come to a website called skills.sh, wherein you can find number of skills over here. For example, as you were saying, let's find Angular skills, or if you're a Java developer, you're having Angular skills over here, which is nothing but a markdown file, and you could install this skill from this command, npx skills from here. So you can find number of skills in this particular website, and then go to your anti-gravity terminal. For example, I'm over here in this one. I'm going to terminal. So I'm going to install the skills. Okay, npx skills. It will add and it would install the skills for me. And if I tell it, hey, proceed using this skill, it would definitely do that. So right now, we have the skills over here. So sorry, this one. So it already has this, and we have we are saying we want additional skills over here, but I don't think we need additional skills over here. We'll just go with
Yeah, Angular shall be built in anti-gravity.
yeah, let's install it globally, copy to all agents, and let's proceed with installation. So it is installing all the skills for me over here. So all the skills would be in a particular package. Right now, I'm not sure where they are, but in Gemini CLI, when I was using it, it used to create a Gemini.md file. But with the new anti-gravity, we don't have the Gemini.md file. Rather, we would have an agents.md wherein you can drive the context from there. And anti-gravity 2.0 is much more efficient. We don't need to say that use this particular skills or anything like that these days. But anti-gravity CLI has much more efficient ways. So I think they have harnessed this in a much better way as it is learning from different things and a lot of other things. So let's see what is happening over here, the anti-gravity. Okay, I will say allow this time.
Yeah, this is nice thing about anti-gravity. It's asking each time
Yeah, it asks you every time. There is a headless,
permission. Yeah.
yeah, there is a headless mode also. Like you don't need to always allow. Um, there is a headless mode, like you complete control to it, but people say that don't do that, always have human in the loop. That's what even Google suggests it, saying that whatever the agent does, it just don't blindly believe it, rather than iterate over it, you validate it, what it is doing and everything.
Just
So
remember, beware of Skynet. Just saying.
oh yeah. Okay. So right now, if you see, the backend API is running on localhost 8080. Uh, and this is the Angular page that it has created. It says GDG Connect, number of attendees. It has done some data over here, and it used some modern styles over here and all those things. So this is coming from the anti-gravity from the anti-gravity 2.0. But I want to show if you want to do much more granular level of editing, you can go to the anti-gravity IDE, which is code editor basically, and you have the anti-gravity agent over here. Again, you can start referencing all the files over here using @ and different types of slash commands are there. So for example, if you see in localhost 80.80, I don't have any Swagger or Swagger URL where I can see all the APIs. So I would point this over here, and I will say here in this backend, can you please add Swagger to see all the endpoints? And it will start listing down everything. It's going to see that, and probably it's going to go and add all the Swagger related things. So it's going to the OpenAI Spring Doc, and it's adding this. So if you want much more granular level of what the agent is doing and what the code is over here, and you want to see the code, I would recommend to start using the anti-gravity IDE on the side. So you will be able to visually see what all changes it's doing. So this is one thing. So it
Do
is
we
right.
need to address two anti-gravities? Anti-gravity and anti-gravity IDE?
No, we can just open anti-gravity IDE and start working from where you have left. Anti-gravity 2.0, which is this agentic manager, right? It has everything over here on your left side, like all the projects, all the information. We don't need two of them at the same time. I can close this out, and then I can just start working over here. So we don't need yeah, two anti-gravity 2.0 and the anti-gravity IDE open at the same time. We don't need it. But Some people prefer like they want to
Mm-hmm.
switch from anti-gravity to IDE to see the code and what it's all doing. You can also see the code from the original Agentic manager as well, but it will be really helpful for people who are used to the code editors and want to see the code or want to debug or understand anything. They can come over here and do that. So
Indeed. And here's question, with anti-gravity version 1, we have VS Code version, but with version 2, we have the chat version. Please confirm.
So yeah, Anti-Gravity 1 hadn't the same VS Code version kind of a thing, but this is
Mm-hmm.
not a fork from VS Code. That's what I believe people were saying. The Anti-Gravity, whatever the IDE that you're seeing, this is not a fork from VS Code, but they have their own anti-gravity harness and everything built into this IDE. I believe they have acquired Windsurf, and from Windsurf they have built this anti-gravity product. But please double check that. But it's not like the other visual code ID folks like Cursor or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it gives a similar feel, how you use in Cursor or whatever AI editor like Cairo is there from AWS. Anti-gravity is from Google, but anti-gravity is basically an IDE which has the Gemini harnessed into it, so it has much more specialized ability. It can read multiple things. It can spin up multiple agents and do some things.
Indeed. And for the question Sabri Mahmoud Lopez is asking, we don't want to use the version 1 anymore. We want to use version 2, and out of the version 2, yes, we can chat right there and just build right there, but you can also install the anti-gravity as it is, anti-gravity desktop, and anti-gravity IDE if needed. I didn't experience the need to install IDE, but
Yeah.
some people do. And encourage you to upgrade, not upgrade, just to download the anti-gravity version 2.
Yes. So basically, when Anti-Gravity 2.0 came, a lot of people got confused really, um, because there were like two apps. Earlier, it used to be only one app, Anti-Gravity, and then from Agent Manager, you can switch to an IDE. But right
Correct.
now, they have two different apps. One is for just the Anti-Gravity Agent Manager where you can chat in, and the IDE, which is like similar old IDE only, but with the new agent harness. So I
Correct.
hope
Mhm.
I hope I answered the question. And yeah, so it added the Swagger to this one, and I will just say always allow. And right now we can see all the endpoints from the Swagger, and you can see that it is using the browser plugin, or the browser MCP that it has default, and it's verifying all the information. So it made the changes in the file. You can click on it and see what was the changes over here, and then you can accept it, and then you can go ahead. For example, so now we can go to the local 4200 for the this is the UI and this is the backend. We have all the information coming from here, and we have the information you want to add an RSVP. This looks to be a little dark, so I would say, hey, can you please change it to light color? Can you please make the front end more like solar light color?
I
Uh,
want to I just want to make a little comment.
yeah,
You know that when John gives a command, it's always a nice request because we want to treat AI nicely. And even saying thank you is it adds to AI, I think. But making requests that way is just a great way to communicate even with an AI. I
yes.
just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right, Rajan. What people say is that whenever an AI comes on board, whenever you're using a new AI tool, you have to treat it like a new intern that is joining your project, and then start interacting in such a way that you would normally interact with a junior developer in the beginning. And then if I mean, there are different types. You can use it as a brainstorming partner. You can use it as a helper. You can use it as a developer. But when it is initially there, you cannot directly throw stuff at it without giving a lot of context. So if a new intern is coming and joining our team, we have to give him some docs, we have to give him some things to explain, and then he has little more context, and then he goes and works what is needed just as a new intern is coming to my team. So even for the tools also, right now we are starting fresh. We came up with a plan. It gave us a plan and then we implemented it. But a lot of us back in our works, we already have an existing code base where we are trying to modernize the legacy applications or trying to fix a bug in the existing applications. Then you have to give it a lot more context. So for that context, you need to give it some time. And as you interact with it nicely and you tell it, give the direction and steer it in a right way, then it will definitely give great results. But yeah, thank you, John, for saying that.
Hey, John, I just want to ask you one more quick question around that. I'm sorry to interrupt this, but
Yeah, no problem.
when you are giving, if you're talking about giving context, do you have to type out the whole context or say it, or can you just provide the code? Here, AI, here's the code we've been working with.
So you can just give the code and say, hey, AI, can you please analyze it and give all the context files that it needs right now. With Gemini CLI, we used to have a command called /init. What it does is that whatever folder you are in, if you initialize it, you would get a context file for it. Hey, this project is so and so. This is what a project is all about. Let's see, do it over here. Okay. I just wanted to show you that too. Let me go over here and see if there is see, there's this dark mode and a light mode right now. So uh, we made those changes using the anti-gravity IDE. We are not using the anti-gravity folder anymore, but we are using the anti-gravity IDE. And I want to talk about the CLI and just what John was mentioning. Let's do that with the anti-gravity CLI. I myself haven't used that much of anti-gravity CLI, but I know a little. I know I have worked extensively with Gemini CLI. So if you go to the anti-gravity and go over here, if you can see down, when you come down, there is anti-gravity CLI. It's a lightning, lightweight fast terminal surface wherein you can directly open in the terminal over here inside this one, or else you can open a new terminal from anywhere over here on your Mac or any place, and then just type anti-gravity in that particular folder. So I would just go over here, start working over here, and let me clear up the screen here. Okay. For this to install, if you go to this place and the same download section, if you go over here, you have the anti-gravity CLI, the command, the curl command. Take this, for example, this is my command. I would go to the terminal and just try to install it. But since already it's installed, I'm getting this thing. And to activate this anti-gravity CLI, you have to press AGY. So it's nothing but a short form for anti-gravity. And when you click on it, you'll be required to sign in with your Google account. Right now, I'm using my own personal account. I have a Google AI Pro, which is like for $20, and it's really, you can do a lot of things with that. I don't use for heavy development because at my workplace I use a different thing, but over here I just want to prototype some things. And you can have a small side project, or even you can really build so many things right now with AI. So this is how you log in, and we can ask, we can start typing in and say, hi, can you add all the context of this project, and that would be helpful for any AI agents from this folder. Let's say, and it's just going through the directory. It's taking all the permissions that is needed. So this is the anti-gravity CLI. We can do a lot of things. What I would do is that I would recommend, let's start with anti-gravity over here. This is the anti-gravity main app. Okay. This is the main app, right? The anti-gravity main app. We started we started over here.
And it's more familiar for those who use in chat.
Yeah, more familiar. So people are not really scared to start. They made it so user friendly, and you see the implementation plan and everything, right? So everything is over here, and now they have added a concept called sub agents also. Instead, in the Antigravity 1.0, there was one agent that was giving all the tasks to all the different things. But right now in 2.0, we have a concept called subagents. A main agent gives all the tasks to different agents, and those agents work and give back the answers to the main agent, and it can do much more efficiently, like basically doing like parallel processing. For example, if you're writing in Angular code, you need all the npm packages and everything. And in order to install the npm packages, it would take at least like 30 seconds to 1 minute, and you don't want to waste time. So meanwhile, it will start writing the Angular code, and the other agent would actually start doing the compilation or downloading all the packages. So there would be some parallelization over here, and this would really help us. So basically, you start from here. You can even complete the whole project from here itself. You don't even need to come to the IDE. But for as a developer who wants to verify all these things, so you would come over here and verify all these files, like what is there in the application properties, what are the database connections over here. Right now, it is using an in-memory H2 database. So all these things would be over here. Yeah, to answer your question, John, right now I asked it, hey, what is the context that would be there for the Gemini? It created a .gemini folder over here. It has it has the gemini.md markdown file. As you can see it over here, it created. Here, what is this project about? This project is about GDG Connect, a full stack developer RSVP networking application. It gave gave the architecture diagram as well. If you see over here, there's Angular front end. We are using the HTTP REST API endpoints. We are using the Java Spring Boot, and we are using Hibernate and everything. See, this is very cool. Normally, a few years back, if I have to do this would have easily taken like at least a couple of days for every to create a small Angular front-end app and back-end app, and to create. If right now it's generating at a high speed, and the model behind it is 3.5 flash. We see all the models over here, down over here. We have 3.5 medium, high, fast, low. So I would recommend, if you're doing any critical planning phase, use the high reasoning, 3.5 high reasoning, and then fast. And if you're just the planning phase only requires a lot of complexity. Once the planning is done, I would switch down to a flash medium or flash low, and then start working on it. So this is the IDE setup, and if you see the CLI, you can also there are some new things that actually came up. I would actually bring this terminal up a little bit, so it will be a bigger one. So okay, let me clear this. I don't. Okay, I don't know how to clear it. Okay, it doesn't know how to clear it. Okay. Okay, what I would do is that I would give it a goal. There are some slash commands that Google has recently given. There are, if you come here, by BDW is something called as, by the way, when an agent is already working, you can ask a question on the side. And this is really helpful command when some task is taking longer, and you can ask, hey, what is happening? And then there is a command called slash goal, wherein you run the specified goal until it is completely finished. And there's one thing called as grill me, wherein it asks you a questions, a lot of questions before what agent wants to do. It asks you, hey, what framework, what structure do you want? Is this all right? So it asks the user a lot of questions to make sure that it is going in the right direction. So whenever you're starting a new project, I highly recommend to start using grill me. It asks a lot of questions. For example, let's add a new feature into this RSVP. Do anybody has any new idea that you would like to add in this feature? We can just ask it. Okay, let's see.
How about something like they show a different maybe they grab an icon from somewhere, or they show some indicator about how many meetings they've attended.
Okay, grill me. Okay, I want to add a feature into my app where they can click on a person and see how many GDG events have they attended. Just like some track score. Okay. So I tell that, hey, I want to add this feature into my app. When they click on a person's profile or something like that, and then they can start. Okay, see how many events like that. So your English doesn't need to be perfect or any grammatical mistake. The AI agent is really good at it. So you don't have to always type in a correct way. It can understand. Right now, I'm using the grill me slash command. Now it's gonna ask me questions. Okay, let's see what it'll do. Okay, it says question one, how should the GDG events attend track score be stored and represented in database schema? I would say yes. Add a simple event integer attribute directly into the attended model. So I'm going to do this right now. I'll just take its recommendation. Um, and let's see. How should the GDG events count be populated and updated? Allow users to input, update their number when filling out the RSVP form, or pre-seed mock developers with realistic counts. Initialize the count for all new registration. I would just go with the recommended things, but basically based on your workflow or your business, what you have, you can write in. You can say, hey, no, I'm not thinking in this way or that way, and you can just enhance this agent. And then how should the events display? Displays at a batch title, example 5 events along the side, or display the sport track on the right to show the progress level of the community engagement. I would, let's say, show a progress bar instead of whatever written it is. So what engagement should the level be? I will again go with the recommended approach. So basically, it's grilling me, like before you go to an interview, right? It tries to ask you a lot of questions, a lot of things to get things done, right? So the same thing approach it's doing. So when you have given enough information for the agent, it will carry on and start working on it. So this is one way of using it. This is a nice feature. I think if you are a developer, you would really love this one because it would not assume, it would give a less hallucination thing. It will not assume things that are not needed for you, and it will be more specific and go down. So this is a very good feature from the Antigravity CLI. And meanwhile, while that is getting done, what I want to show is that there is something called as a new thing in Antigravity 2.0. So you guys have to be really careful. Like, see, Antigravity 2.0 means this page where you have the agentic manager. Antigravity IDE is nothing but this thing over here. And Antigravity CLI is the terminal that I'm working on right now. So we are talking about 3 products. So whenever I refer to Antigravity, I would go over here. And we have something called a schedule task, wherein you can create a task over here and say that, hey, every morning, can you give me a report of what new changes have I done in this new particular project or something like that. Okay, let's say updates on my project. Okay, and you can say daily around 9 a.m. Right now it's 7:01 p.m. Let's try to trigger around 7. I cannot enter date. Okay, I cannot enter the time, I believe. So yeah, every around 8 p.m. I want to track all the changes that were done in this project as a HTML report and see what features these are implemented on a high level. So if you set the schedule task, it would create that, and you would get a notification, and then you can see that HTML, whatever it is, you can schedule it. Just like in Cloud Code or in other things that you see, there would be a scheduled task. It schedules on that particular time and then start working on it. So meanwhile, I would go over here.
Hey, John, let me just ask you a quick question. When you get that report, how will it show up? Will it show up just opening up in the anti-gravity application, or will it be an email or a text,
I
or can
think
you specify that?
I did not try it, frankly speaking, but you would get a notification on the anti-gravity over here, like kind of an inbox thing, and
Yeah,
then
very good.
you can click on this, and then you would see that particular HTML report. You,
Perfect.
you can
Thanks.
play around with a lot of things on this one, yeah. So where was I? Okay. So right now in the CLI, you have grilled that and we have added a new feature. Let's go and test it out if there is anything over here. Okay. If you see over here, they have 15. Okay, now 15. Where is that? When I click on this one, right? So they say 0, level 1 newcomer. Okay, when I click, he's a level 1 newcomer. Everybody is a newcomer because it's a brand new application, right? So
Yeah, I never met any of them, so you know.
yeah, so that feature has been added. And then I wanted to talk about a new command that is called goal. I mean, it's already there in other IDEs as well. So this goal command, right, what it does is you give it a goal, it doesn't disturb you, it doesn't say anything, and it will try to finish how much ever complex the goal is, it will try to finish and achieve it, and then only it will let the user know that, hey, I have finished the goal for you. So right now in the earlier one we saw in the grill meet was asking you a lot of questions, right? This is the opposite of that thing. You give it a goal and say that, hey, this is the feature that I'm looking for, make sure you have everything added to that, and then let me know what is being done. So for example, for in this anti-gravity, I want to add the fitness level of each person over here, okay? And they can say that I'm so and so, but I wanted to add it as a new feature. I don't want to give much information. Don't want to give much details, and I will say add to each profile a workout tracker kind of a thing, so they can log their workouts daily and have some stars as a gamification way to encourage them to be fit. Be fit. Um, um, so please add this feature and let me know. Okay. So I just gave it a goal. I'm saying that, hey, for each profile, you have to add a workout tracker or something like that. And it's just going that. See, it's going to give the design thought and everything. And it'll finish it and then only it'll come to me. Meanwhile, while it is doing this thing, you can ask, by the way, by the way command, ask a side question. So you can ask the question like, how much time do you think the goal will take to complete or something like that, you can ask a lot of things based on the curve. It takes about approximately 10 to 15 minutes to completely finish the goal. So based on this one, it was saying 10 to 15 minutes, but it can be much sooner than that, and you'll get a notification saying that it's been completed as well. um, Another thing, there are like I've seen people giving goals that take couple of days or like, couple of if it's a very pretty complex task, if you're trying to analyze a huge legacy system and try to come up with a lot of information, this would take that, run for a couple of days and try to achieve the goal. And once the goal is met, for example, what would be the ideal use case scenario is that you have done your project, but there are no unit test cases. You can say that, hey, make sure there is 100% code coverage and write all unit test cases that are covered for all the code that has been written. Then it will take that goal. It will try to do everything what is needed for that coverage to pass. You can give some information, and based on that, that would be a good scenario for a slash goal command. And yeah, I think you have a lot of other commands as well. You have all the agents as well. What agents are being currently. There's a sub agent that is running one run agent, and then you can create some research agents as well, and then a lot of other things also. So I would just, oh, sorry. It says this is, oh, it says it's done. Let's see what has complete. Okay. Choose your level 1 fitness code, no workouts law. You can I did a running for 30 minutes and I'll log it. They failed to submit. There was some error. And then what I would say is that use the browser. There's something called as a browser/browser. And what it does is that on your behalf, it will spin up the browser and start testing it. The workout log is failing. Can you please check it? So what it'll do that it will try to spin up the browser and then try to find the error and try to fix it. So yeah, this is pretty much it. It's a very agentic centered thing. It's not more. It's not no longer right now. If you see the AI powered editors, it is no longer autocomplete or whatever earlier things used to be. It has much more capabilities. You can do lot many things. You can actually you can create a stitch design and then give that design to Antigravity, and it will try to get you some small working prototype. And then obviously there are a lot of other decisions like security and deployment. All those things also can be done through the CLI and everything. So yeah, this is pretty much it that I wanted to show, everything in action. And yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask me. I will answer as best as I can.
Cool. We do have some questions.
Okay.
At least we have some chat. Shall we read it out loud?
Okay, there's a chat. I don't know where the chat window is. Let me see the chat window.
I have a question.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, I saw you went and did this all in an IDE, and I'm a ruthless post IDE, do everything in the mobile web browser because everybody's got a phone in the world who doesn't have a laptop or computer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send you a link to the app I did using Google Studio, AI Studio, that literally lets people log in for Meetup, Google GDG login, and Zoom, and share screens and videos and auto record the videos out of this with the
Mhm.
YouTube API for Meet, Google Meet, and
Okay.
also the Zoom API. I'll just put that in the chat, but it auto generated, and there's a link people can test now, but drop it in the chat. I've been putting it in the chat with some of the prompts I use, and I use WebRTC, WebSockets, and the Google screen share browser APIs for it. So developers who actually know the APIs like I can actually build and not just vibe code like somebody said earlier. This is really a co-pilot compound engineering thing when you know the APIs, you know what the best web standards are, and you can get it to do it because you know Google hosts those and Google understands in the browser how to do that. And that's a very strong thing for developers to really actually be in hand. So I want people to give me feedback on the actual. I let it be a me mixed and I let it be available to anybody that has the links. Give me feedback on it on my Twitter, AK2Pac, about it. And I'd love to have you generate a link here that people could interact with the app itself. Can you have Antigravity generate an actual web link app without having to go to GitHub? Because that's why I love AI Studio and Antigravity and Stitch because I can generate a web app anybody can use right
Yes.
away.
Thank
Yes.
you,
Yeah.
AK. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of in chat. John, do you want to address that?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the chat. Yeah, I see. This is all vibe coding. What steps do you need to take to move to spec? Just in generation, not demo due to. Okay, so yeah, spec is like more. That is the way to go right now. Whatever we did, it was like on the fly. We just vibe coded everything, right? We had an idea, and I did not just tell the AI agent to do everything, whatever it needed. What I have told is that, hey, use Java or use Angular. You are specifying few things. So in the specifications, right? It includes all the architecture diagrams. You have all the functional requirements. You have all the boundaries that you set up in the specification before you start in a real world scenarios. For example, we in our team where I work, we all sit together, come up with a draft plan. We discuss a lot of things. We come up with a plan. Hey, these are the technologies we are going to use. This is the database that we are going to use. These are the coding standards. We give a specification for everything. Once we have the specification document, we are putting guardrails to the AI model, and then basically you're saying it, and then you are letting the AI to follow what the spec is saying, and based on that, each organization has different specs, right? So based on that, it will prevent AI hallucinating a lot further, and will take good decisions based on the spec documents. I am a firm believer that you have to plan more earlier rather than just vibe coding, and then it would not have a structure. If an organization is everybody is vibe coding, everybody would have different products. But if you have a structure, we have some limitations, some guardrails, and everybody has to use these standards. I think the specs documents would be really handy. Right now in this session, I do not do any spec related thing, but if you see in the first anti-gravity, when we did that, it gave us a implementation plan. That would be our spec document normally in a development world. So that's a nice question. Thanks, Sabri.
Yeah, I like Sabri's comments here. So it's crazy how fast it builds the first prototype, fully functional. But the issue here is this works well for brainstorming and prototyping, but when you need to create a serious backend API, web coding is bad. You need to move to specs. Antigravity is able to do specs
Yes.
and such and such. What is your experience, John? But versus what I'm doing with Antigravity, I'm using Antigravity, just saying build this, and then I'm asking Antigravity to critique everything what it built. So to
Yeah.
find vulnerabilities and such.
Yeah.
John, go ahead.
So yeah, I saw that question. Are there any other questions? I see that. And are there any other questions?
Now, let's see if there are questions. I like Kira approach of using native SSD in my agentic and non-agentic workflows. I continue to use the rules of test-driven development. TDD, this is all good notes. So what I like to note, and I'm asking the person to address, is Sylvester said there is the new SDLC, excuse me, with web coding. Do you want to talk about these, Sylvester? Sylvester?
Sure. Sorry, I don't see their comment. Where is that? Google does provide a generous free limit plan, subscriber generate a prototype. Okay, it's crazy how fast the first prototype
Yes,
will function, but the
yeah,
issue.
we did read it. No action item needed.
Okay, you already did. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean the more you plan.
SDLC, that's the question, I guess. Harnessing SDLC.
SDLC is a software development lifecycle, right? So basically, in an SDLC, what we do, we get all the requirements first. Once we get the requirements, then we architect it. The architecture normally is now, the Gemini agent that gives us the architecture based on the requirements that you have. But everybody has some different plan. You don't need to 100% agree with the Gemini, whatever it gives you, because you have to make some specific designs for that. Once the architecture design decision is made and what technologies you do, then we go into development mode using the help of anti-gravity, which can really help you to do a lot faster and do that. And then the testing phase also, I as a developer, I use for unit testing. I also use it for some integration testing. You have the browser plugin wherein you can give all the test scenarios for it and say that, hey, these are my test scenarios. Make sure if I missed any edge case scenarios. And once the testing phase is complete, then we can fix all the bugs again using the anti-gravity IDE or the CLI. And then the DevOps process also can be done through the CLI. If you have Google Cloud, we can configure Google Cloud Run, and from here itself, you can directly publish and deploy the apps if you have all the CI/CD setup and everything done. So basically, in every phase, you can start using this anti-gravity products from in all this life cycle of the SDLC.
Thank you. So I see the proposal from AK. Before we go this way, let me share something. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Yeah, John, that was awesome. Nice job. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, John.
Indeed, indeed. And John, I welcome you to, oh, okay. I welcome you to comment any of the slides here. So I really, whew. My question was always like, how many tools are available? It's like crazy, right? This is the main slide for me. I was mesmerized seeing this. And right now I am at the Adobe, so I'm going to find how to share this file with you. There is a lot of information shared with us as the organizers. So I think this slide is the most important because how do you choose between all the products introduced, even just last month, and more to be introduced like during the summer? That was promised. I don't know. What are you using? I started just to explore Notebook LM, which I love, 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 love. Buying Antigravity, subscribing to Antigravity. I was like, hey, am I subscribing to Antigravity only, or am I subscribing to like all those with specific, I don't know, access to all those? Turned out I subscribed to Gemini Pro level. Means all those, whatever I want to use, and they will be just exhausting the, I guess, APIs.
Yeah, basically, if you have one subscription, it is applicable for all the things, Yulia.
Yeah,
So
this
you
was
can.
my hope. I wasn't sure if yes. So do you want to address John? Can you comment either or this John or that John? John Sturman or John Paul? Please help us.
Well,
Yeah,
I actually have an opinion. It is, there is this very large, bunch of tools, but,
Yes,
given what, it's all depending on what you want to do. And the anti-gravity ecosystem, and, John showed us a beautiful,
indeed,
demo of all of that.
indeed.
I think that's where to start. AI Studio is pretty great also. I've used it. Antigravity, I think, takes it a step further. Antigravity, AI Studio is more like an IDE, where Antigravity is really like an ecosystem.
I
Um,
see. So
that's all
once
I
you
can really
tried
say about it.
anti-gravity, once you used anti-gravity, you would not go with AI Studio, or would you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Me
Maybe I
too.
would, depending on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
To your NFL headlines of the day.
I mean, I think the trick is try them. Try one out. See if it does it for you, and maybe you go, wait a minute, it needs. I need to incorporate more stitch or whatever else.
yeah. I just want to add one thing over here. So um, we have a lot of agents, a lot of products, right? Each one is designed for some specific purpose. Like for Stitch, you can design a lot of things, and then Anti-Gravity Studio, just as AK was saying, right? You can do a quick prototype and give it for shareable links to other people. That's where any non-technical person can go there from there. But if you want to create an enterprise level of application, you need tools like anti-gravity, wherein you can integrate all this together. So that's where we get with all the products. Then we have Notebook LLM, which is mainly to have a grounded source of truth, wherein you can put all the resources there and get the information only from there. And lot many others, we have the Android Studio as well right now, the Google released. It is also built on that. A lot of products. Yeah, Yulia.
I would disagree though, John, because I'll say this because I'm a web developer. I help start the Google developer groups. I would design on every platform, from Facebook to Google to Apple, on pretty much every web API. And the thing is, if you're an IDE developer, you use anti-gravity.
Mhm.
I'm a mobile browser web developer where I write code, I write it in, I push it to a site. Google actually, with AI Studio and Stitch, allow you to point to a URL even if it's not on Google's API. And because Google's browser standard knowledge and web development knowledge built into their actual assistant, it actually allows you to do a better job even working with other APIs and other sites because what Google understands about from an institutional organizational one from its API hosting and its crawling of the web about those other APIs. Like literally the Amazon guys at the Amazon Code Jam last night before the little conference they had yesterday, literally the night before, I actually was able to follow their challenges by using Google to look at the web page of their challenge and jam and their FAQ and actually make it work better on Google hosted link to it than they were able to do it on their own hosted because their thing was old school where you go on a page, you edit some code, you pop it in an insert window, cut and paste. And Google looked at it and said, well, we can just offer that same API, call the API like we're an outside API, log in with Google Auth in Amazon, and build out the ability to easily build that and test it like we want to do as a pen tester, but because Google knows web standards and browser embedded in mobile app standards better, it does a better job allowing you to develop stuff straight ahead. And because you as a developer can see it, what's going on, and the UI, and tell right away, it allows you, I say, to process more data than a CLI agent can, like Claude. Because as well, people like us who have strong, deep developer expertise, we can see, oh, this is off. Let me see the error codes I'm getting. Let me go to the browser and see what the actual run the test thing in the browser. That ability is miles ahead of what a CLI does, just giving us feedback based on what it saw. And I think that's where Google AI Studio and Stitch. What's also cool is Stitch and also Pomeli. You can point to a site and say, let me go into my Google Personal Intelligence and let me look at the Google Doc or Google Drive about this company. And let me look at their website. And I do this for companies as I advise and build startups. And let me generate a prototype based on what they say they want to do and the text they're using and the standards and the APIs they're using, and tell me the one that works. So it lets you do what you would have to do instead of having to writing unit tests that you think are it actually does unit testing in real time. Just like you people do when they do pen testing and testing ports and testing different things on a server. So I think that's where Google really has built off their expertise in the web and in web hosting all types of APIs and websites that because they make a browser that nobody else has. Like Amazon's hosting doesn't do that. The what stuff you get from OpenAI and Anthropic, they don't really do a good job because they don't have the deep web expertise Google has building their own browser and their own clouds and their own mobile apps. That's why they can have you auto-generate a web app and a mobile app that actually works and then now you see on the AI Studio page, you can auto submit it to the app stores, Apple and Google. So I think that's where they're ahead. Look at you. You can do if you like a CLI and Antigravity, but if you go to AI Studio and Gemini, you can test then against what's there, and not just Gemini, but also Pomeli and Stitch against other sites, and say I want it to be more like this, and grab this feature off this web page. And Google, remember, Google looks and crawls those pages, so it looks at the actual structure of the code itself and can make it compliant, which avoids all the hallucinations and broken stuff. It still have issues with it being broken sometimes, and I'm still, it's an early product, but their prototypes work better than everything else I've used. I've used Code Base 44 and other stuff. I don't even mess with OpenAI and all their stuff because they're not web standard compliant. Google's got deep web standard expertise. I don't want to say anymore. I don't want to overtalk.
Thanks,
Okay.
AK. That was great.
Yes. Thank you for the passionate talk. And while AK was talking, I was showing some slides, like insider slides, for your information.
I saw those, and let me know if you want screenshots later.
Wait a second. I want to know, and again, I want to see John's recommendation, how we would share these insiders information with you. So I have the PDF to share with you. If you were interested in what I was showing, and I think it was quite illustrative too with passionate talk of AK, right? And it did address what the product line is available for you and how Google is relying on you, want to hear and build for you. Yes, no? So, John Paul,
Yeah, sorry.
what would you do? You just build, you just prototype something for us to network, right? Did you?
Yeah, so we prototype, right? I completely agree whatever AK said, but why we need CLI, why we need anti-gravity is that we need to take a step further. From the AI Studio, you cannot schedule some tasks. You cannot integrate with databases directly. You need an IDE. You need all these things. You can run tasks, you can run goals, you can do all these things. But with AI Studio, you don't have much control. You have to be more like prompting specialist to get what you want. You cannot say that, hey, work on this Java backend. Everything on the UI can be done, but there is a lot of architectural decisions behind the APIs and everything. So you still need all these things. You have this multi-step execution, local file system access, all those things, because some of them have compliance. And then if you need deep context and ecosystem integration, you need MCPs to integrate with different parts of softwares. And yeah, everything has its own thing. So that's
I
my
would
thing.
disagree because you can just point to it as an endpoint or URI. I wrote on the app I put in there local storage and SQLite to store it locally, the video and the information about it for the chat bot running out of the Breb RTC. So you can do it. You just have to point to where your endpoint is and tell AI Studio, access it here. I have access permissions, press the login, and it'll do that in the actual AI Studio prompts. You just go ahead and say, yeah, this is my thing. I have access and rights to be able to access this database. And you can do that. It's just the difference is if you're comfortable writing code in an IDE, work that way. I'm actually great at doing web as a web developer and a database designer and an actual backend guy. I'm used to actually, I built Cisco reasons. I'm used to actually working with URIs and web links and web for accessing any database. But I mean, you could work literally in that page and have it right to a local database right now or your own cloud database. You just have to point to where the URI endpoint is.
Thank you, AK. So again, I will bring this slide again, and I think your agents and developers need a platform. So all these platforms, choose what works for you. If you're passionate about this, go with this. If you're passionate about that, go with that. Right now, I discovered Notebook LM, and I'm happy to host all the projects, all of my projects there. Excellent. It can be applicable to code. It can be applicable to slides or any kind of project. So it's project oriented. Right? You want to build agents, build with agents, run with agents. All of this is available. I think the main message they did share with us is even not this. Yeah, bad actors attacking through. Okay. The IDE will fade to the background. This is already happening. To those who didn't start coding yet, was doing just like wipe coding, so you're on the right track. It's better to have some experience, but basically that's what will be happening. Passionate fights. Fights are like this tool versus that tool. This has to be done this way versus that way. I'm going to share, I did share already coding gems in the chat. Please take a look on those. All these coding gems are no longer than 2 hours each. And we are looking forward to do those. Each of those gems, coding gems, are teaching you how to build basic, how to build next level, and production ready level. So one step at a time. So there is a sequence of coding gems built there. Let me scroll down and find this specific, but this is the message which shall empower everyone. I really want to see this happening. I'm not reading out loud, okay? Yes, thank Google. So we did architecturing autonomous agents with Christina. This is the workshop catalog. Powerful workshops ready to run today. 0 lab credits if you want to learn. Again, I'm looking to share this with you, all these links, and with all these levels, the entire table.
So,
I have to
Yulia,
find
let me
out.
just go back to that slide, please. So here, when you do get this deck, these are a bunch of really good workshops that you go through. You'll learn this stuff. They're
Indeed.
really, I can't say enough how nicely these are written and designed and how useful they are. They're,
Yeah.
this is what people do. So it's pretty good. Go ahead, Yulia.
So that's what I'm going to share with those who are attending. Too bad we have only 22 people. I wish all people will get access to that, but Again, the nice thing about AI, if you don't know what to do and how to do it, just ask it in the chat, and it will guide you through step by step. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, these coding gems she was talking about. There are starter codes available for entire 8 week if you were doing one thing in a week. So these are the. I will keep this slide on the screen for a little while if you want to screenshot and get a QR code. But the link was shared earlier in the chat. 1, 2, 3. Are you good? Shall we move?
Yeah, I would move
Again.
on.
Okay. We did gem right here in 40 minutes talking about Fridge Chef, and people did tweak it like tremendously towards cybersecurity, towards something else. And really, we do appreciate the fact that Google is wanting, really interested to help us. For us as GDG, they are saying there is a playground concept will be introduced very soon. So the Builders Hub playground, hopefully, it's coming up. Again, I don't know what will come, what will not come. And let me end with this slide. Aren't we cool? Do you recognize these faces? The main face is John. Another main face. Where is John? This is John. John Paul, who gave a talk today. This is John Sturman, who is co-host. Guess who is that? And these are real photos from all our events, including hackathons and such. So we received the Innovation Award. Thank you, guys, because we did it with you. Let's keep it rolling. The moment of glory. I will stop talking right now. I am giving the room and floor for those who want to talk. Sabri, thank you for all your comments. I see you're very active and starving to learn. Happy to support those who have the intention and motivation. I hope you learned something from us today. Then we're happy to help you. I know you are trying to find a job, but we're happy to help you in any way possible.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure, and I love to participate in this meeting, even though I know that you are in New York. I'm in Virginia.
This is fine.
And
No
and John, the
limitations.
poll presentation was awesome. Really,
Yes,
I learned a lot today. Thank you.
indeed, indeed. Okay. So saying that, it's 7:35. Our official time is done. I guess I will stop recording and I will leave you with like 10, 15 minutes open chat if you want to talk. It
Can I
work?
show the screenshots of the app I built so I can show people how you can actually use top end developer tools? I can share it and I can show you the prompts and the code that was built out if anybody wants to see it. Because it'll help them for those who do compound engineering, which is not the same as vibe coding. That's for people who understand web APIs and are developers, but they can still use the other power of an agent to check all the minutia that an agent can do that a human being can't look at all those details. So if everybody's open to
AK,
that, I'll share my
AK,
screen if they want.
AK, I am more than happy to give you the room. Please apply. We have the process. You just apply to present and we will give you the floor to present.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No problem. Yeah, I was just
It's
gonna say
in
if
the
people wanted
event
to see it.
description. So each meetup has the link how to apply. So you apply, we plan accordingly. Make sense?
Okay, my fault. Because we do lightning talks at the other one. My mistake. I'm not trying to violate the process. I just didn't ever read that part of it. I missed it.
5 minutes for lightning talk if anyone is okay with that. Yes, no, I don't know.
I've got to get off, everybody. I want to just thank everyone for coming. AK, thank
Indeed.
you for all your contributions and everybody else. John, you're amazing. And it was really a terrific evening. We'll see you all soon.
Great
Come back soon.
presentation. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I was, I appreciate it so much because you guys really did a great job. I see why you won the award. This is top quality the way you did it, and we were just a little more interactive when we were because we have lightning talks we put in as between the things like minute lightning talks to people can show cool stuff they're working on. So I didn't want to violate your process. I just hope we do it the Mountain View. That's all. And the link is there for anybody who wants to check out the app. I made it available to remix, so you can even remix it and change the code in it. I made it available. The one thing I want to ask Google to add is to let people see the prompts because I want to share the prompts so you can go through and modularly choose different prompts and different commands and features. That'd be kind of cool. If Google added that and then
Indeed.
automatically hosting it on Google Web, not on cloud where it costs, but on Google website hosting. That would be something they could beat everybody else because they've got better web standards.
Okay, this sounds like a good plan and good proposal. Let me stop recording. What I will do next, I will, Mario, okay. I will also share the link in the chat, inviting you to the Slack channel. That's where you can continue. That's where we will be sharing all our resources as well. Like first hand, we go to Slack. Second hand, we go to, and we publish on the meetup. Mario, you want to ask any questions? Say something, please go ahead.
Yeah, John, my question is if you could create a new session but integrating Google Pay with an application, or including also the A2A framework to chaining the paying section
Yeah.
to the request to a customer and at the end-to-end to the end-to-end process for the whole application.
Yes, Mario.
I'm very interesting to integrate the Google Pay section in the whole application.
Yes, Mario, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, there are some APIs wherein you can directly integrate the Google Pay. There are some Stripe APIs that are publicly available. You can take them. I mean, there's a lot of verification there. But once you are verified, you can integrate to your website with the Google Pay and all the things. I haven't personally done anything like that, but I've seen people on their like white-coded sites. They have doing the payment section. You can definitely do that. The only thing is that you have to point it to the resources where the Google Pay, how to set it up and everything. If you go to Google Cloud, there are a lot of APIs and services like you can integrate Google Maps, you can integrate payment services, you can integrate a lot of other things. So I would check it out there. But Antigravity or any AI tool, we can chat about it, like how do I integrate this Google Pay into my system, all these things, because it's payment verification. So I think you need to be verified in which country, which bank, and all those things. There is some process involved to it. Once that is done, you can definitely do that, Mario.
Thank you.
I hope I answered your question. Yeah.
Okay. The Slack link is posted. If you need, QR code is here. Help yourself. This is Slack, our chatting platform. Again, we're not the best, but we do what we can. Link is in the chat. And this is our group. GDG Community Dev, GDG Hudson. With this note, thank you for those who are joining. I will stop recording, and I'm really grateful for your attendance and your interest and your questions and your commitment. It was awesome. John was awesome. We love him very much.